Hello, class. Good afternoon, and today I'm presenting my website. The website is targeted mainly at the loneliness problem in Panamanian teenagers, and its goal is to show solutions on how this problem can be solved by the Panamanian Health Ministry, which is the proposed audience of this website. Now, let's start. One of my favorite parts is the homepage. And what I like about the homepage and what I try to do is to make it the most impactful as possible with my main two statistics, which are one in six Panamanian teenagers feel lonely, and loneliness has doubled in a 6 year span. So this introduction is just straight facts. It's meant to captivate the audience and to make them feel, hey, wait, this is a very serious problem. One in six Panamanian teenagers is feeling lonely. So this is a very powerful technique I used to hook the audience, which is, as I told you, the Panamanian Health Ministry. So let's continue. Here it's um, just a development of the problem and how it is affecting um, young people. Here we have the causes and the effects, which is depression, anxiety, and lack of productivity. Now let's keep looking. Here I have an about the author page, which is featuring me, of course, and my experience with loneliness. I actually picked this topic because, well, I felt lonely once. It was a few months ago, just starting university. I didn't have any friends, and right before university, I had a period of my life when I didn't have any activity to do. I just graduated high school and moved to Panama. So I didn't know what college to go into. So I was basically almost a year stuck without having anything to do. So it was very hard for me to socialize and to have friends, and I felt lonely quite a lot. So I think this problem is very very awful, and I don't want people to have the same feeling of loneliness I felt, which is not good at all. So this is why I made the website about loneliness, because I know that it's something that it's very hidden. In fact, nobody in my family knew I was feeling lonely, but I felt it deep inside of me. So this is the problem with loneliness. It's very, very hidden. And that's why I also want to talk about it. The problem section of the website is precisely outlining this. It's talking about how loneliness is a silent epidemic, something that it's not it's easy to spot because one may be surrounded by people but may feel lonely. And this is actually an statistic brought up in the website that shows that humans need quality connections, not a variety of false connections. What I mean with this is that we humans need quality, need depth of relationships. It's better to have a few very good friends than knowing everyone but not having an in-depth connection with them. So that's why loneliness is so hard to spot. So this is precisely what I outlined here on the problem, and also, of course, the symptoms which I already um, talked about in the homepage, which are depression and anxiety. The impact of problem was made to specifically target Panama and to be very full for the Panamanian Health Ministry. And I remarked how teenagers who feel lonely are more probable to reject school. So the more lonely you feel, the more probability you are going to reject school and education. Of course, society without education crumbles. if there isn't if there is a problem with education in the beginning of the life of people, which is, yes, being educated and learning, well then, society is going to crumble. There isn't going to be enough professionals, and there's going to be a crisis. So education is important, and loneliness damages education. So that's why what I wanted to make clear with the problem, so the Panamanian Health Ministry can um, know how the problem specifically affects Panama. So okay, let's keep going. This is the statement of purpose, which is why I am making this website, and I already talked about it. Um, I talked about how well I felt lonely, and I also wanted to expose something that is hidden, and loneliness keeps being hidden. So this is why I made this website. Now let's go to the solutions and advocacy. So the solutions and advocacy, it's my proposed solutions to the problem, which are specifically targeted to the Panamanian Health Ministry because they have the resources to apply the solutions. The first one is a social media awareness campaign, a massive social media awareness campaign that brings the negative effects of loneliness to the to people, Panamanian people. So when you bring the negative effects, it's much more effective. So the awareness campaign needs to focus on how loneliness can cause depression and how can it damage Panamanian society. So the awareness campaign, it's expensive. We need to have lots of influencers and people who are who want to talk about this stuff. So it's not a quick solution, but it's more of like a process that needs to take action slowly. Now we also have the CBT distribution, which CBT stands for cognitive behavioral therapy. Now this is the main way to treat loneliness. It has been proved by various scientists that CBT is the most effective way to treat isolated individuals because it helps change um, the patterns that people have, that are the mental patterns that people have lead lead them to loneliness. CBT can help change these patterns, so it makes easier for an individual to escape this rabbit hole of loneliness. So CBT is again another very expensive way to get rid of the problem because of course we need to pay therapists and distribute them all around the country. So that's why I need, and this website focuses on help of the Panamanian Health Ministry, which is involved in precisely this, in investing for the general welfare of the population. Now, I know that both of these solutions seem quite drastic and are very hard to introduce at first. So that's why I also have three stages which anyone can take in order to keep advancing against this problem of loneliness. So, first one is spread the word. Talk about loneliness. Talk about how it's hidden, how it can affect people who look to be social and who look to be not lonely. So, spread the word. Talk about how loneliness is affecting young people. Now, be observant and offer help to others. And I think this is the hardest one because loneliness, as I told you many times, is hidden. But of course, it's very easy for an observant person to identify sometimes the symptoms of loneliness. So be observant and help out. If you see someone that it's experiencing loneliness, help them and give them the appropriate help, which could be CBT. Now, the most important one and the one related to this website is by sending us a form of testimonials. And with the form, we can post it in our social media and we'll have it on a website about your experience with loneliness or the experience of other people with loneliness. And this is going to be posted on the website itself and on a social media platform so that other people can see how loneliness is affecting Panamanian youth. So I think this is the best step you can take, which is sending us testimonials. Now, I think this is the most interesting part of the website, which is again testimonials and are the way we can measure how loneliness is impacting different people. So what you're doing here is that you send here you send us a form, and the form is going to go to a database. The database, we're going to have access that database, and we can post it on our social media. Also, the form, it's going to be presented here in the website. So look at here. I already filled one form, and it shows how loneliness is affecting my life. Let's try out and fill one form. So again, I just filled out every single part of the form, and let's submit it and see what happens. Let's refresh the page, and there we go. Now we have the testimonial, and we now are seeing how the website works. Now we have um, how you feel about loneliness, and this is going to be exposed so people know how it works, how loneliness works in each individual. So I think it's a very interesting way to see how loneliness affects different people. And yes, this is probably my favorite part of the website, and I think it's the most useful one. And finally, I have my references, which are the works that I used to research about loneliness. I have the ones used on this website and also other ones that I used to build my initial essays about loneliness and the research I used on the proposals. So, again, thanks for your attention. Thanks for being here, and see you later.